Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. Today we'll be creating this fun gold basket weaved buttercream cake with some fall inspired flowers. To begin, you do want to prepare your flowers first, that way they have the most possible time in the freezer to become nice and solid. This is baking paper stuck to a baking tray with some buttercream, and then I have my red buttercream in a piping bag fitted with a ball tip Russian tip. With a ball head Russian tip. I will have the number for this exact one in the description box below for you. Give them a good twist as you pipe them out, and then into the center you can put edible dragées, or you can add a Malteser like I have that's been dunked in edible gold dust. Pop them into the freezer and then work on your cakes. I have a 6-inch cake that I'm working with for the base tier and a 4-inch top tier. I used one cake cut into 4 slices, so they're pretty thin cake slices, and then just 3 layers of buttercream. If you'd like the recipe for this buttercream and for the ganache, I'll have it listed in the description box below and in the eye icon up top as well. This is dark chocolate ganache that has some buttercream mixed in. I'm creating a crumb coat all around the cake, making sure it's nice and thick. Considering I'll be piping the same colored buttercream on top with the basket weave, I'm making sure that the crumb coat is super thick, so if you do see through the weave, you won't be able to see any crumbs. For the top tier, there is a 4-inch cake board right underneath it. I'm going to fill it just as before and create a nice thick crumb coat again. Pop the 4-inch and the 6-inch into the fridge to set for a good 20 minutes, and then taking a basket weave tip, I'm going to start with 3 lines, traveling from the base of the cake board right up towards the top of the cake. Sorry, starting with 2 lines. And then right at the base of the cake, I'll create the horizontal swipes and just alternating one on either side. I find that this helps me to keep as consistent as possible when I'm working with 3 lines at a time. So I might start with 2, but then I work with 3 at the end. Continue this pattern all the way around your cake. And I highly recommend you using a ganached buttercream for this. It's really, really silky and it leaves nice sharp edges. It's also important to work with cold frosting if you can. The colder it is, the sharper you'll be able to cut it off at the end, and the easier it is to pipe the weave. When you're done, take a spatula and swipe in from the edge just to clear off any of that overhang, and then pop it into the fridge again just for 20 minutes to set that up. For the top tier, I'm using red buttercream, and I tinted my buttercream red with gel food color. Cover the 4-inch completely, clean up the top and the base, and pop it into the freezer this time for a good 20 minutes to firm up real nicely. For the sides of the basket weave, I've taken some edible gold luster dust and a large blush brush, dusting it all over the surface. I'm also dusting the top as well, but leaving the middle blank, considering that's just going to be covered with our 4-inch later. You can take some bubble tea straws or wooden dowels. I like to use 3 of them cut flush with the top of the cake. I normally arrange them in a triangular formation, and 3 is more than enough to support the weight of the 4-inch top tier. To release the 4-inch, I like to use a really, really thin spatula, going around the perimeter and then lifting it up from the temporary cake board. Because it's frozen, we can handle it with our hands and it won't mess up the buttercream. Now we can assemble our flowers. So I'm just going to take them and add a little bit of buttercream at the back and stick them onto my cake. I like to aim for the very front of my cake with the first one, and then I'll work on either side of that until I reach the back of the cake. I've left some space in between them, that way I can fill in with some leaves. This is a number 352 piping tip, and I'm using a fawn colored buttercream. So it's kind of not quite green and it's not quite yellow. It's somewhere in between. I figured that would be more fall inspired. try to cover as much of the space between the flowers as possible. And then if you like, change to a second color to fill in even more. And that way it just looks a little bit more interesting when you have different tones of leaves in there. Kind of like what would happen in autumn. If you're enjoying these tutorials, feel free to subscribe. We do upload new content every week. And if you'd like to have some cake guides in different languages like Spanish and French, I also have them listed in the description box below. And that's it. That is how you make a really fun and easy gold basket weave cake using just buttercream and some floral decorations on top. Again, I'll have all the piping tips in the description box below and the recipes in the eye icon up top. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll catch you in the next one.